great day racing. We had some close racing. How did everybody at that? This is normally the part of our anniversary race where we hand out team plaques and everything, but we're going to hold that off for a little bit today because this month, in 1962, it was a bigger event than an ECHORR event. Henry Harnish won a car that year at the Grand National Aurora Championship. Bring your chair. Bring your chair. Get up here.
Pass him over the top. Bring the beer up. You're going to the left hand.
Roger.
He's got his groupie with him. Yeah.
A lot of guys in this hobby, we have a good time, but you really can't imagine competing against millions of contestants, filtering through being on a TV show at 16 years old. 15, sorry.
So we know lying about his age, too.
Yeah, well,
That's one lie so far.
coming out on top, not only coming out on top, but lapping everybody, what, 20 lap race? 20 lap race, lapping everybody with those vibrators, and those things look like super stocks when they were driving. Big accomplishment. Pressure.
All right, quick your
We've
hand
been
up.
working on this.
Been locked by Henry
Actually,
in this room.
the club and a few
But who has a vibrator?
working on
That's the
things
problem.
for a couple of months, trying to make this a special anniversary for ECHORR and especially for Henry. 50 years, nothing to sneeze at. Before I continue, I'm going to bring up Bob Beers. He's got a couple of things he wants to do speak for the group, and then we'll go from there. Come on, Bob. Icon in the hobby, by the way. He's big.
Peter was going to set me up with a microphone. I told him I don't need one.
What? I believe it. Uh-oh, he's got notes. In trouble, Henry. He's got notes.
Yeah, keep my notes here.
Don't turn your back on him. Remember Wild Bill.
First of all, back in '62, like Henry will tell a few people, everyone else at 15 years old was out having a great time, playing ball, meeting girls for the first time. Henry hasn't met a girl in about 67 years. All right, but everyone's out having a good time. Henry decided he wanted to race, he wanted to compete. You know, although he's competitive. All right, so Henry worked in a hobby store in New Jersey, Rich's Hobby Town. Rich's Hobby Town owner, Rich Palmer, pitched an idea to Aurora, along with Dick Schwarzschild of Aurora. And the two of those guys came up with the idea for Ford Aurora Grand Nationals. Okay, when I met Rich, before I met Henry, okay, probably in '94 I met Rich Palmer. He was moving down to Florida. His store had been closed for years. Moving down to Florida, and he was packing up his house, and I forget how I got his information, but he had a bunch of memorabilia, a lot of Ford Aurora stuff, paperwork, what have you. Henry's gone through a bunch of the stuff I have. Anyway, Rich had in his office this plaque, which is an original, banner from '62 for the races. That's the car Henry won. Okay, and this is the first buck that was made in Rich's Hobby Town off in this program. So this is kind of a nice piece of memorabilia in my collection. And I had Rich sign it on the back. And it says, to Bob, original frame poster from the office of Richard Palmer, consultant to Aurora Products, co-originator of the Aurora Racing Program, Rich Palmer. All right, now Henry worked in the store. Henry in his spare time raced and raced and raced, and he got good. And you guys know he's good. So when he went to New York and competed after winning state of New Jersey and everything else, he was just good enough to beat everybody else hands down. Okay, so we got to give Henry a lot of credit. He practiced hard, he ran the races, and a lot of guys today that I've asked about different things about Henry have said that when they watch that old race from 1962, they see the same look in his eye, the same determination. Look at, right? 52 years later, and they can't take it. They just crumble, just like those 10-year-olds on the TV show did. So I just wanted to preface everything with that. Now what I did was I asked a couple of the people in the audience here, a few people, if they could give me a little story about Henry, just to kind of break the ice. So I said, you know, do you have any little Henry stories? I'll start off with one I have. Mario Paisano met Henry at Englishtown, 1998, Henry? Around 90, he's going to correct me for a year again. Like, okay, this is a pattern. 97, 98. Henry, you saw Mario and what he was selling at Englishtown, and Henry couldn't believe that people were interested in slot cars. So I'll go a little faster on that part of it. Mario got together with Henry, found out Henry won the race, all excited. I mean, it's us in this hobby. We got to get excited by that stuff. Mario got a hold of me. Do I want to come meet Henry? Went to New Jersey. Went to Henry owns a billiards equipment company in New Jersey. We went there, met Henry. Had all his trophies out, very proud of everything he had. Proud guy, we know that. Showed us all the stuff that he had. And actually, I'm thrilled by all of that, and I'm thinking, what does this guy want for this stuff when I ask him how much he wants? Because if you people know me, I'm asking him how much he wants. So at the end of the day, Mario's in awe, and Bob's going to me, okay, Henry, what do you want for everything here? And Henry goes, I'll take 10 grand for it. And the most I ever spent for a trophy was about $300 up to that point. So I said, I am cheap. So I said, Henry, I guess you don't want to sell it. Now in retrospect, and I told him this, had I spent the 10 grand, I could have sold it back to him for double that. Okay, so it's good that he kept it. Probably, right? Okay, the other Bob Beer story about Henry is my shows. If any of you have ever been to my shows, Henry comes to a bunch of them. He always comes to them. We have a rule at the show: when you come in the door, you pay $5. Henry is one of the very few celebrities we have in this hobby. So Henry comes to the door. Now I don't collect the $5. My wife does. Okay, she runs the door. So Henry comes to the door. She says, "Okay, Mr. Harnish, I'd like $5, please." He says, "I'm Henry Harnish." She goes, $5, please. She says, "Bob, could you come out here a minute?" I come out there. She goes, "This is Henry Harnish. I'm asking him for $5 to come into the show." I go, "You know what? Let him in. Let's him in for free because he is a celebrity. He should be coming in for free." And I had to give my wife the $5. Okay. A few years back, one of our members here Henry stayed with him, and they were coming out of the house one morning going to a slot car race. They hopped in the car, packed all their stuff up, they're driving down the street. What's in front of them on the street? A bull. A live bull facing at them. Okay, they're in a Jaguar, right? So the driver sees the bull there. Henry's in the passenger seat. He sees the bull. The driver's like, "What do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do."
That's no bull.
Henry's sitting there, and the bull's frothing in the mouth. And there's a guy on the side of the road with a pot banging on it, trying to get the bull's attention. Well, he gets the bull's attention and starts charging at the Jaguar and Henry. So Hiram, who was driving, goes, "What do I do? What do I do?" And Henry goes, "I don't know." You know, because Henry's like the guy in charge. "I don't know what to do." Well, the bull swerved a little bit, just past the car, got a little saliva on the windows and on the rearview mirror. And Henry's comment was, "That's no bull." But in reality, I think the saliva was from Henry, not from Henry. Okay, one time while heading to the fray, Henry and Hiram were in a airport breakfast. They're having a nice leisurely breakfast. They had a Oriental girl as a hostess. Now they call them Oriental. They're Asians now, so I just want to correct everybody on that. But Henry's schmoozing the girl like Henry can do. Early in the morning. Next thing you know, thing you know, the guy's getting the back rub for breakfast. Hiram turns to me and goes, "What the hell are you going to get for lunch and dinner?" Okay. Another funny story I heard, Henry, you were either at Lime Rock or Watkins Glen when you met Paul Newman. Where were you? Which track?
That actually was Meadowlands.
Oh, see, he's going to call me Lyron. Okay, Meadowlands? He met Paul Newman. That's a pretty big moment. Henry introduces himself, tells him he sells pool table equipment and everything. Now Paul Newman's got money. He should be buying a lot of product from Henry.
That was right after the Color of Money movie.
Right after the Color of Money movie? Okay, so Henry feels real good about talking to Paul Newman, hands him a business card, he's all pumped up about it, walks away. About 5 minutes later, he comes back walking past Paul Newman. He was very proud to see that Paul was picking his teeth with Henry's business. True story. Henry has come to the aid of a lot of people in the hobby if they need some help. An example, Mario Marzano had the flood in Jersey. Henry was gracious enough to say, "You got a really nice finished out Chevelle, bring it over to my house, put it in the garage. Make sure you leave the keys with you." Mario's Chevelle's in Henry's garage. Meanwhile, Henry's taking the thing out for joyride.
No, it's not. It's not a Ford.
Okay.
This ain't where I used to put that Chevelle.
Right? Okay, so enough of the light stuff for Henry. A couple of things I do want to comment on here. We all know, seriously, Henry's been a big asset to ECHORR since he joined forces with the club. I mean, even for Hiram, when Hiram took over the V-Horse Shootout, turned it into the challenge and developed a set of rules, Henry's very instrumental about being in the background. He's towed the tracks everywhere and has asked for little or no compensation. Okay? He's also made the comment to one of the members, and you guys should just keep this in mind, that one of the members makes it a point every time they finish up, they wrap up, they pack away everything, Henry starts to take off with the truck. Henry, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And one time Henry turned around to the guy and says, he says, "I don't hear that often, but I really hear it from you all the time." So just as a general point, if something happens that, is above and beyond, and a good example is Peter Letros today, this is above and beyond, everybody knows that, so that's a good example. To just say, "Hey, thanks a lot, appreciate it." And everybody knows it, and we all do it, so, a lot of guys told me that Henry was instrumental in getting them into the hobby. One of the guys told me he was a magnet racer and loved magnet car racing and was doing it avidly, had a really good time. One day he walked by one of the tracks where this guy, I guess he was an older guy, was racing T-jets on the track, very intent. You know how this guy races. He's up there close and he's like, that's basically the way he races. And he's seriously intent on his car. And the guy watched him race and realized that he's just a great racer. And the guy got into it right after that. So, Henry's been instrumental in bringing a lot of people into the hobby just by mistake because of the enthusiasm that he puts into it. The other thing with Henry, and I told you about this, when you watch the footage of his races at 62, you see that he has the same intensity on his face and the same intensity in how he races. So Henry, from this group, bottom of everybody's hearts here, we really appreciate what you've done for the hobby. We want to congratulate you for the 50th anniversary of the Ford Aurora race. And we want to do a couple of things that Hiram put together, a little bit of the team behind him. And I think you guys will all be proud of us.
I guess I really realized a year and a half ago that this was going to be a 50th anniversary thing for Henry. We got to do something. I've been working on this literally for about 18 months.
You never told me.
Yeah. Hello, you know how hard that was? And I got a lot of cooperation. I had to do a lot of legwork with all different things. And some people have said some stuff for me.
It's not X-ray.
You're in trouble.
And the reason that's covered up, that's when you answered the door at Jeff's house.
We got a couple of cars for some out of town people which will be later. Alright. This is from, believe it or not, the Airport Club.
Okay.
And this is from John Lamont.
That's interesting.
Who are those, Hiram?
John Bamonti and the Mayhor Club from Kansas City.
Oh.
There's white powder on the back of this one.
This is from Christy Angeles, Dr. Ugan, Mesa Springs. And also he made a billboard commemorating the champ for his track.
Nice. Nice. How much you want for that? 10,000.
Henry, how much you want for that billboard?
Buy it. You'll make
Now,
money.
if anybody knows Henry, and he races cars like everybody knows Randy, there's a specific color that Henry's going to race, which is?
Purple.
Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow.
So, a couple of body guys have made some special bodies for Henry. First, Tom Bowman sent this specially decorated body for Henry.
Got the color right.
Paul Niffen did up a body for him, also with the silver color. Now, another friend of mine who does really good body work and painting, Tom Baker. Henry would have a conversation with lunch or something. He says, you know, I never got a body from Tom Baker. Well, now you do.
Oh, Tom.
Tom Baker. That's number 50 on it, the champ, detailed out. Beautiful body. Champ, of course. Yeah, you want to display it? Yeah, yeah. Want to do that? Joe Correa from Nostalgia Hobby sent this special original parts list for the vibrator parts that were available in the 1960s and framed it. It says Henry, happy 50th from the boys at Nostalgia Hobby, Joe and Brian.
Yeah, anyone needs a contact plate, they're 50 cents out here. Henry says they're $25.
Now this is what I spent the last 6 months of my life. Yeah.
Okay. In between the casinos.
Yeah, between Ford Motor Company. I was trying to get somebody that actually knew something about this event that happened in 1962. Nobody knew it. I never heard of that. We gave a call away. Red tape. After red tape, email after email, email after email. I finally emailed this one young lady, and I never thought she would get back to me, but a couple of weeks later, she actually called me on the phone, my cell phone. She says, you know, I was having dinner with my family last Sunday. My grandfather, Ford, remembered that event. Follow up on that. Oh, God. So anyway, Bob's going to read this letter that I got signed for you and signed by the CEO of Ford Motor Company.
William Clay Ford Jr., Ford Motor Company. Mr. Henry Harnish, care of Hiram Durant. Dear Henry, Congratulations on the 50th anniversary of your victory at the Ford Aurora Grand Nationals Slot Car Championship. Your ability to prevail over more than 1.2 million entrants in this competition at the age of 15, see, Ford knew it was 15, okay, is legendary. You must have had nerves of steel to persevere during all those qualifying rounds. We know he has nerves. Your father's decision to accept the grand prize 1962 Thunderbird on your behalf, since you were too young to drive, was right on the money. That was one beautiful car. I'm glad to know that after a long hiatus, you've returned to the slot car track and have found pleasure and camaraderie in modifying and racing again. Here's wishing you many successes on the banks and flat tracks in the years to come. Sincerely, Bill Ford. Check this guy's name, Mr. Harry. He's checking the date to make sure it's in. It says August 4th, 2012.
And this is an email just to show you that I tried, but it's not so good. It says, Hiram, our archives team has done a diligent search and has come up empty, I'm afraid. No records survive from the involvement of Ford with the National Slot Car Championship, including his prize, Thunderbird or his fifth. I am sorry. Please give Henry our best. Cheryl.
That's great that they did that.
And we got one more special thing. I wanted to do something special. This is 50 years. It doesn't happen all the time in any sport or hobby. And I wanted something that was special. I wanted to be better. And I was thinking of stuff to do. And well, anyway, with the help of a couple of my eco friends, we made it happen. And this is something that's going to make Henry remembered throughout the years. Right? So I'd like the Beers is here, Darren's here, Dave Lockwood,
Come on up, Dave.
Paul Niffen, Randy, and children, and Mario says apologies whatever.
Yeah, I understand that.
And he also helped me get this together. All right.
What do we got in here? Behind door number 1.
This was supposed to pop out?
Doesn't that tell you with that speed on the beach?
I was trying to forget that.
I'll take the channel.
Garrett, you got it backwards.
That's good, man.
That's good.
It's about here. Bring it out here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right. Now, when I first got this, we had some proof paint and everything, and one of the Paul says, "We need Henry to get more badass in that picture." So I commissioned the artist and said, "We need more badass." And Henry, this is for you. It's a limited Bob Martin collectible piece. Paid to you, show the artist. This is the qualifier winning card and the winning. That's basically the control right here. Show it to the crowd. More badass in the picture. You see that? I also got some wallet-sized pictures made. Well, Bob Beer's wallet-sized.
By the way, I have books available, videos, anything you need.
And these are gonna go to help the club. They're $10 a piece. And I'm sure Henry will be back. Autograph these. This would be a great addition to your race room. So if anybody wants to see me, this would be a great souvenir to have. right? And usually I give out participant plaques and all this other stuff, but I'm trying to keep that away because all our plaques this year have that anniversary deal on it. So, and our participant plaques, so each one of you is going to get a little participant plaque. Yeah, each one of you will get one of these boxes when you come up in a little while, right? So that's why all this kind of stuff was kind of under the glove. I was not too competitive. Trust me, it was hard because I hang out with Henry a lot. Wow. Now, I know there's maybe some of you guys out there that want to say something, or anybody else want to say something to Henry or on his behalf or anything else? Sounds good. All right. What I'd like to do now is everybody line up. I want you to come by and shake the champ's hand, and I'll give you a participant plaque as you come out and look at this stuff. And then we can do the hokey pokey.
That's what it's all about.
I gotta reserve my chair.
Those are for sale, guys. So if you want to buy one of those,
Thanks, as always. Thanks, Joe.
I see how to go.
Don't have my teammate up a
I just been following along. I get some bad The big one's priceless.
That billboard's cool. Oh, this is the one from,
You don't know how